say heavy is the head that wears the crown. So that's what we're about to talk about. Welcome to Under the Crown podcast. This is Chris.
Carlton.
Yo, I know we was just talking about getting something to eat. I was thinking about last Saturday when me and my son went out to breakfast.
Mm-hmm.
That was the Saturday before Mother's Day. And how like it was jam packed on Saturday. So I'm knowing
Sunday gonna be crazy.
that Mother's Day gonna be crazy. But we up next.
Man,
Father's Day.
it means a lot.
What do you usually do on Father's Day?
It's funny you ask. I always ask for a day of peace and quiet.
Yeah.
I usually go out west.
Oh, that Father's Day picnic.
Yeah. I went to Victor Herbert.
Mm-hmm.
So it means a lot to me. And, just going there and seeing all the generations, kicking and having a good time.
Yeah, I saw that on the news, and I actually read. But hey, yeah, they try to get rid of that, man.
They did actually. They moved it.
Yeah.
Because see, this one, the gentrification, it's showing its ugly head over there now.
No doubt. I just like I don't know what I don't really have a tradition. I know last Father's Day I got a grill and a canopy, but it was like 95 degrees outside.
I know.
Man. So I'm not. It's like, man, Father's Day we get the gifts where you got to do something.
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But I appreciate it nonetheless, man. But last Father's Day was the first Father's Day without my pops. I lost my pops last February. So you know what I mean? So it was weird, just to hear his voice that in the morning call him. So happy Father's Day, or bring him some cologne or something like that, man. That was weird, man. Man, my pops, boy, I've seen a lot and been through a lot with him, man. But he taught me so much, bro.
And from my father, but he died when I was 13. I remember so much, and the stories I hear from people who knew him, resonates with me. And the older I get, the stories that I do know personally with my father, it just comes to me.
Yeah.
I have elephant memory when it comes to things pertaining to my father. So I grew up without him for the most part. You can say it like that.
Yeah. Since you was only 13 when he passed, like, do you remember anything?
Yeah, shit, man. My love for music is from my mother and him. Yeah. I recall, because he worked for CTA, he drove the 56 bus. I think his station was Limits. That was the station. And I remember, because I was born, and I'm strong on numbers. 817 West 54th. So I'm in Motown, pretty much. So I was born right over there. It's my birthday, too, August 17th, right. 17. So it's crazy. But I recall being young, running around, my Bobby Johnson braids and shit as a baby. I remember that. I remember crates. I remember Otis Redding playing. I remember 8 Ball and fucking Purple Bags, which now I know was Crown Royal, his favorite drink, you know what I mean? And people at the house, and showing a good time, being a joyous, festival person. So that's why I think some of that is in me. Shit, man. Big O from Kokomo.
Yeah.
Oscar, Big O from Kokomo. They call me Lil O.
Yeah.
Man, it get hard to talk about it sometimes.
Yeah.
Missing them, not knowing what could have been, and talking to you, about your old man and listening to you tell me, what was going on, and you tell me he's not here anymore. I understand.
Yeah.
I miss the shit out of my father. I miss the shit out of him. A whole lot,
Yeah. I know my pops, man. Like I said, I lost him last year, but we really started to get close, like in his last 5 years. You know what I mean? That cancer is a motherfucker, man. But my father was strong. Like, that was his 3rd time actually having cancer. I think this time he was just like, all right, do what you do. Like, my pops was so strong. He rode a bike everywhere.
Okay.
He got hit by a car and rehabbed himself, bro, lifting weights he was like, yeah, my shoulder out of socket, but boom, I just put it back. I'm like, wow, he was just lifting weights to get it stronger.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So to see what he went through and then how he ended up, man, I mean, he took it like a champ. But we really just started to get close over the last 5 years. Like I saw a lot of, my house was sometimes dark. And not just like with no light. I mean, like as far as the mood.
I understand.
You know what I mean? Drugs, domestic abuse, you know. And it's so crazy because I mean, my father's name was James Evans, and one of my favorite shows was Good Times. So it's like, man, to see him yell and scream sometimes and throw a chair and Florida be, you know, with our shoulders up in our ears, you know what I mean? It's like, oh, that's what James Evans
No name Florida.
That's what they do. So it was like, okay, you know, and man, I saw the, you know, the physical abuse and all that, man, but I also saw a man that got up and went to work every single day, bro. Mm-hmm. Like I said, on a bike.
Yeah.
So you know how Chicago winters could be on a bike.
And this, when it wasn't on mountain bikes, it was 10 speed.
It was a 10 speed, bro. He did. That's all he couldn't stand mountain bikes. She's like 10 speed, get me. That's how I be trucking. He rode his bike from our crib, which was on the low end on 37, to Chicago Heights.
God damn. Fuck Lance Armstrong.
And exactly. I always tell them, like, you're going to be in the Tour de Hood. They're going to be giving you cups of Wild Irish Rose like they do on the bike trails. But,
you stupid.
But no, he said all he needed was a thing of hard salami in the bill. He was straight.
And it's funny you said that. My father, Mississippi.
Yeah.
Straight country boy.
All they do is eat roadkill and pork.
I recall I'm like 7 years old. You know, my mom, they didn't get married, you know. Yeah. I think he didn't know how to love a woman like that. He was a womanizer. But that's another story. I'm going to talk about that. But I recall one morning, I go in the freezer to get some ice. This Negro got a damn coon.
Yeah, my pop say coon.
Yeah, I said, boy, it's good eating right here, boy.
With sweet potatoes. It looked like a dead dog in a bag.
Bro, I'm like, what the hell? And then one day, we outside, he playing the music, got the big ass speaker. And he had a 77 Grand Prix, I think, like a canary yellow kind of sort of color. Yeah. And I remember him putting me on his lap. This when I was a little younger though. Put me on his lap and I'm riding around the neighborhood with him. It's my boy, it's my boy. It's my boy, you know, and being so proud. Yeah. Yeah. You know, being so proud of his son. You know what I mean? I remember stuff like that. I remember the wine here named Blood, who stayed down the street. I remember when I walked out the house, my mama cooking, my father in the tub. I go down the stairs, I walk down 54th. I get to almost to Halsted and Pampers. I kid you not, Blood. Yeah. The wine here, Blood. Yeah. Look, oh, come grab me, come upstairs, my mama crying. What? He walking down the street. It's some stuff that I don't forget. You know, and for my father, like, I would say he didn't know how to love. You know, my mother was not, because she wanted to get married. He wasn't for all that. My father was older than my mother, too. You know, I guess it just wasn't in him, you know. But I never took that with me saying I would do the same. You know, it's just certain things in him, like the dog stuff that I know what he did. It hit me. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like alcohol, smoking. You know what I'm saying? And I ain't afraid to say it's what it is. Yeah. You know, I'm not ashamed who my father was or whatnot. You know, I wish I could have grew up like that, but it wasn't for that. For them.
I think one of my traits I got from mine was his temper. You know what I mean? Like my daddy used to yell. You know what I mean? Like, and his voice was so big and strong. It was like Mufasa or something throughout the house. Like, you know what I mean? And it was like, whoa. And I just remember my mama just trying to get dinner done. Like, all right, James. You know what I mean? And it was like, wow. But at the same time, I ain't know I was poor. You know what I'm saying? No. I didn't know. You know, there's been times where, like, I remember Christmases where, we'll all be up early. I used to get up early, man, about 4. And but he been up all night putting toys together,
Bikes
you know what I'm saying,
together.
bikes and all that. So, to see him and just I remember just looking at the joy on his face. You know what I mean? Because that's a I don't know, when it comes to fathers, man, making sure your kid's happy on Christmas. I know for me, that's the ultimate. You know what I mean? And I understand the whole meaning of it and all that stuff, but at the same time, it's like, this is that actually bring the excitement building up to that morning, and what that day really means and all that. And I think that's something that maybe he felt. But I also remember too, man, the food we used to have. One Christmas, we had 2 turkeys, a ham, a roast, and a coon with 200 pounds of chitlins. My mama had 20 pails of chitlins.
Ain't Bessie's?
No, I don't even remember what that was called.
In the red pail?
Yeah, it was in the pail. But that was, my father, he just wanted to make sure that, man, everybody ate good. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I remember those things, but, again, it's one of those traits that, that temper, man. But he made sure I was cool, just in his way. I remember one morning, because he used to walk me to school. We didn't listen when I was going to Holy Angels, and it looked like it was about to rain. He was like, "Hell, Dad, we getting on my bike." You know what I mean? So I'm sitting on the he had a 10 speed, so I'm sitting on that
on the
middle bar,
that
middle bar. You know what I mean? And so everybody getting dropped off in the car or whatever. I'm getting dropped off on the bike, kids. But I was like, man, my pops, and that's what I remember saying at his memorial where, you know me, and one thing I loved was TV. But growing up, watching those sitcoms, that was like my escape. You know what I mean? Like Family Matters made me feel like, I was Eddie Winslow and my daddy can be Carl. You know what I mean? Or Silver Spoons and my daddy could be a toy maker. You know what I'm saying? But it was like, I'm like, man, like, at some point, and I feel bad for saying, but I was a kid. I don't know. I guess I just wanted my life to be like what I saw the other kids life. You know what I'm saying? But I didn't know, man. But just looking back on it, man, that was a hell of a dude. And one thing about my father too, even though he had that temper, man, I never saw him not read something. He kept a newspaper. He kept a book. You know what I'm saying? So he was always that person that tried to, just gauge knowledge. Another interesting thing too, I remember we had this closet. You got that closet in your house with just junk in it. And my mom was like, during cleanup week, that's when they was calling it cleanup week, not spring break. You know what I'm saying? You're going to clean out this closet. I'm like, okay. So I just mentally prepare myself. I'm like, I'm going to do it first thing Monday morning so the rest of the week I could play. Some ice skates in there. Like, who these belong to? Like, it was my pops.
Word?
My pop used to work in like a ice skating rink. You know what I mean? But like the fact that you ice skate and ride bikes and can fix whatever with a toothpick and a piece of wire, he was calling him ghetto MacGyver. You know what I'm saying? But man, he did that, man. But I think too, like mama can do no wrong.
Women or children, they can't make mistakes. I mean, they can.
Yeah.
They allowed to, but men can't.
Yeah, and again, our job is to protect and provide. But man, it's so much that goes with that because it's a pressure that goes with that.
Man, 37. I know I call my wife my wisdom, but these gray hairs triggered by stress. Certain things, that you have to make happen. Ain't no ifs, ands, buts about it. You know what I mean? Trait from my father would be probably being stoic, bottling it in. That's never healthy. I can recall my mom telling me certain stories about when they first started dating. Because she was working at the VA and he was riding the bus, he meet her, blah, blah, blah. And she said when he got comfortable with her and everything, he had a little side hustle. He used to be selling old CTA parts. I'm like, damn, for real? Well, yeah, he ain't sell drugs, nothing. He was, he'll hustle, like trying to sell parts off the engine and shit, under the table and stuff. That's how he makes extra money.
Mm.
But the meaning of me saying him being stoic and it relates to me is that I'm just not learning how to open up sometimes and speak about shit because holding it in will kill you.
Mm-hmm.
Like you'll explode. You know what I mean? He didn't have a temper like that. My mom said he didn't. He was big, loud. You know what I mean? Not boisterous, but country guy, like 6'5", big, loud, whatnot. But in a calm manner. But when he got angry, yeah, he'll show the other side or whatnot. As far as him, his things what he'll do, why he didn't get married or whatnot. My mom said he wasn't ready. But I do recall on Christmas, this when mountain bikes came out. In contrast with your father, didn't like 10 speeds. I mean, he didn't like mountain bikes. I had got one. Never forget this. I'm standing over there with him on Christmas. It's snowing. I'm outside riding my bike. So I come back in the house, we're not going to get something to drink or whatnot. And he in there tying something up. I'm like, oh shit, I opened the door. It's just down the street. I'm like, damn, but I mean, I'm young, I'm like, oh shit, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Tagging the ass. I'm like, whoa. Boy, you ain't seen nothing, boy. I ain't, okay, cool. Well, now, I'm coming downstairs on my bike. That little hoe, I'm like, oh, what's this all about? He said, boy, look, I have fun with the ladies. I'm like, oh shit, you know what I'm saying? It is what it is.
Yeah, I saw my pops at the beach on 39th walking. They had their hands in each other's back pocket.
Oh, cool.
And he ain't see me, but I saw him. But I ain't never say nothing.
Yeah.
Like, bro, we just ate pot roast. I'm good. And it's like, look, y'all don't even sleep in the same room. Man. So whatever. You know what I mean? Like I ain't no snitch, even though that was my pop. But my dynamic was different. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Now, the reason you are the man you are today, this is not a question, but this is how we just talking.
Yeah.
Is because of who our fathers were.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? Like that DNA is literally in the genes, and I ain't talking about no Levi's. You know what I'm saying? It's definitely in the genes.
Yeah.
I'm only me. I'm not perfect. You know what I'm saying? I got my faults. I done fucked up a lot of times. I'm not a perfect husband, not the perfect father. But like you said, your father, you always saw him going to bring back for the family. That's what a man's supposed to do. I got that from my father. Like right now, I'm busting 2 jobs. I'm trying to get some shit accomplished.
Yeah.
I'm tired, but my determination is what I saw from my father, as well as my mom too. But my father on that man side, and trying to make him proud, watching over me.
Yeah.
That's where I'm at. How I feel about being a father. But like I said, the bad shit that he did, I'm not mad at him. Yeah, ain't anybody perfect or whatnot.
Right. But I think that even though, look, like I said, mama can do no wrong. Daddy, he looked at it a little bit different. I guess because, like this thing's called Under the Crown. So therefore, we leaders.
Exactly.
And so people should lead by example. But at the same time, we got to understand that people are people. And we can't put too much stock into people. Yeah, daddy is title, president is title, Pope is title, but at the same time, they men, they people.
First and foremost.
And, if we were all perfect, all our names would be Jesus. You know what I'm saying? But it is what it is. Just like I appreciate everything that he's done for me, man. And I think that our generation is the generation of trying to be the men our fathers were.
Yes.
I
agree.
But at the same time, again, like for me, I look at I love him for what he did and what he didn't do. And as a father, even with our sons, we want our sons to be better than us.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Like, yeah, because my son saw me do some stuff. He didn't heard me raise my voice. I didn't, you know what I mean? But but he know that I did it out of love, you know what I mean? But I just know there's certain things that I don't allow my son to see. My son will be 20 years old next month. But he never saw me, drink or smoke or anything like that. Not saying not just overindulge or anything, but I'm an adult. But I don't want him to see that, because I think it's because I saw my father partake.
Yeah.
He dabbled in a little bit, you know what I mean? And then seeing the aftermath of being high, you know what I mean? And, and a drunk man tells a sober man's truth,
I think my father. Well, I know for a fact he worked hard, but he'll have his taste.
Yeah.
When he get off,
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I remember being over there. I can't pick my father up.
Mm.
He passed out in the damn stairwell, but the door locked. You know what I'm saying? So somebody get in and whatnot, and I'm scared. Like, what the fuck do I do? Like, I think he's dead or whatnot. And, you know what I'm saying? So I've seen the effects of him partying too hard, and he can't be attentive to me. You know what I mean? And I always swore I would never be like that with my children.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, my kids know I like wine, I like whatever. You know what I'm saying? They know that, but they don't see me, just in the
laid out.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I can't knock my father because I didn't know then, but like, damn, I don't know what was going on.
Mm-hmm.
And he died pretty much heart attack.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But some of the things that I'm going through now, I have to break the cycle with high blood pressure. My mom, she always was in the medical field. And she told me one time, how he viewed her in the manner of, Mama, if you break down, I break down. So it's kind of like she was his doctor. He listened to her, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But he still had his own, I'm gonna do my own thing and whatnot. So I'm seeing that in myself, and I get on it so I can make sure my wife won't have to bury me early or whatnot. And there's some things that because she stay on me, and I gotta respect that because she's doing it out of the love. You know what I mean? But like I said, some of the things that he did and he was doing, I'm doing. I ain't afraid to say it is what it is.
Yeah.
That's my father. I love him, right or wrong. But I'm glad I'm able to address it because me being stoic, like he was not saying shit, you know what I mean? Just slowly killed him, possibly. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And father, my son, I want him to be a better version of me. Period.
Yeah.
That's what we strive for. To make sure we do raise boys to men, literally.
Yeah.
I think about my old man a lot. His birthday on the 24th, May 24th. It's coming up. You know what I'm saying? And it used to be a day where I get fucked up, play music, think about cry.
Yeah.
And now it's like, okay, take you out to getting fucked up. Play your music, you can cry, and think of the good things.
Mm-hmm.
Think about the good times. You know what I'm saying? Literally, think about them.
Yeah.
It's just, man, just growing up without them, really, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, it hurt, you know what I mean? But it is what it is. What can I do about it?
Right. I know. The one thing we can say that a lot of men can't say, at least we had them in our lives.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Regardless of imperfections and flaws or whatever. Again, they're not perfect. We're not either, man.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But they had a presence. And they gave us an example, And even when I deal with youth, a lot of, especially these boys, man, a lot of them don't know their fathers or their fathers, locked up or they passed on or whatever, or they're just not there. And it really affects them. Like again, when you just really sit down and talk to these young guys and just see what's going on and you understand that there's a void that's missing from them. I had one. So when I was the dean of students at this school, we had this kid came to school probably once a week, twice on a good week, you know what I mean? But when he did come to school, it was like, oh man, we gotta cater to this kid because, he just be off track with his
Mhm.
behavior. Not just, he wasn't a bad kid. He just, things just trigger him off and then he go get irate and all those things. So, one day, when staff told him something to do he didn't like, so he just went off and just started walking away.
Mhm.
And that's one, you're not about to just chase a kid. You got to be calm. But somehow he got away. Man, we were just on our walkie-talkies and looking for this kid all over the building, bro. We finally located him in a classroom with computers, and he was on the Department of Corrections website looking at his father picture. And that touched me, man. And it's like that boy just, he had to see his daddy face at that moment. You know what I'm saying? He missed his father.
Yeah.
And so now that lets me know as men too, yeah, we're not perfect, but we got minds, we got to think. Nobody's promised tomorrow, but we can't put ourselves in a position where we can possibly be taken away from our kids, man. So with that is just doing whatever we're doing in the streets, our health, we gotta check that, man, because it's bigger than us, man. These boys are hurting. And like I said, we're the era of men trying to be what our fathers weren't. This is the era of men that's coming up behind us that don't know who their fathers are. Because there's no way you can tell me that we'll see some of the things we're seeing if there were fathers, and that goes back to them roles. Like, we're protectors and providers, but we also disciplinarians. We're also that, that stability, that head of that home that puts together that structure and that discipline to make sure that our boys don't. They're gonna make mistakes.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? But we gotta be there to make sure that when they do, we gotta get in the game to make sure that they know what to do next time.
And also learn how to move off logic and not emotion.
Absolutely. And that's what my father did. He moved off like everyone, something, man, doors were slammed and it was scary. I just remember like going up under my bed when I hear him holler, you know what I mean? But the next day he'll be like, "I'm sorry, y'all. I just,
Yeah.
And it's just that frustration, man. But I miss him, but man, I feel good about it, man. Because I'm telling you, these last 5 years, just me and him just sitting and having conversations, and I'm teaching him stuff, but then he's teaching me stuff. So it was just like, it was more like, I was there with my friend, and so therefore I'm like, first Father's Day was last year, first birthday without him, all that stuff, first Christmas, all the first we passed by, but I didn't get sad, man. I reflected, bro.
And I had to stop feeling like that because I'm gonna see him again. Yeah. I know his spirit, in me and whatnot, for the right reasons. And that's why I think it's so important why I do what I do for my family.
Yeah.
I take all the good
that,
that was instilled in me from the time, until he left. And I remember one thing, a piece of John Singleton, because they said it in the movie too, in Boys in the Hood. My father was in Nam. And he told me, like, yo, like, don't you ever do nothing like that. And I said, what? Don't you join Nam? None of that. I remember him telling me that. At my side of my family, on my mother's side, everybody knew Big O. Everybody knew Oscar. And, you got just like him, this and this. And the more I hear about him, I feel more and more proud. Yeah. More and more proud because it was way more good than bad. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And fuck the bad. This is my father. That's how I'm here. You know what I'm saying? So, and I got an older sister, you know what I mean? My sister Tina, I love her. And, like I said, my father, woman now, he didn't do this, straight cut card. No, hey, this, you know what I'm saying? That's how he got down, but we talk about things too. You know what I mean? And you what you say? You just like your dad. Okay. Yeah. And you just like your dad. I'm like, oh.
And that's something I be hearing women say, and that could be a good thing, or that could be a bad thing. Or like, because I've heard people, you're going to be just like your damn daddy. And then so I'll be like, what does that mean? You know what I'm saying? My daddy locked up, so that's what I'm gonna be. You know what I mean? So I don't know, man. But
and God forbid anything do transpire with me and my wife or we. You know what I'm saying? I will never ever talk down to my kids about whatever happened with us. Happened with us, and that's why I'm glad you said in our introduction episode we were just chit chatting about women. We do need y'all. We need each other, but we need y'all.
And but it's important, like you said, you can't show your kids that because that's mama, man, and that's like mama cut deep. That's why we play the dozens. You ain't never heard your father so. It's like so.
Your mama.
Like, man,
what you mean?
You can't. You got to. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You can only play it for so long because then you're gonna end up boxing. Because that's mama. But daddy is like,
and then
my daddy. you getting in on your own pops.
And see why? That's the question. Why is it like that? You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, you take I always love my mama, but then you go, it was a symbol. he break it down like right. My daddy gone, like he a roller stuff. You get the, it's like damn, like why? And I celebrate both of my parents.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying. But why we?
But mama, man, that's what man. Bill Cosby, he had a joke. You know what I mean? Not about Spanish fly, but he was saying like, he was saying how, you know, his son, you know, put him in football and then going out in the yard playing catch with him and going to the store to buy him cleats and you know what I'm saying? And then you take him to the hospital for his first concussion. Then he scored a touchdown and they be like, "Hi, mom," and it's like,
"What did I do?"
Yeah, what? So, I mean, but man, we get out of responsibility, but you know, I don't know credit, but that's that's what come with this though. You know what I mean? Yeah. Just put your head down, and that's why we're doing what we're doing because we're gonna give each other credit.
Yeah,
because we need that. We need that.
And,
you know,
and about the good job, but sometimes
we need to keep going.
That's it. Kim, keep it moving. You got to.
I like that.
You know what I'm saying? You got to keep it moving because it's rough being a father. And I'm not gonna go to the whole stereotype. Oh, you black? Yeah, it is what it is. I'm black, man. Yeah, it's rough out here. But do I give up? No, I can't. I can't. You know what I mean? Because it's imperative that my children, grandchildren, even my wife, see me going. Because, like I said, if I'm the foundation, I can't let nothing come in and disrupt it. Because, like, you know what I mean? It's screwed because when you think about it, when you're looking at real estate, you go look at a property, house or a building or whatnot. How's the foundation? The foundation's solid. You got good bones? Okay, good. You can roll with it.
If it's cracked, we out.
You know what I mean? You can't do nothing with it.
Yeah.
So
we have a lot of problems.
A lot of problems. Unforeseen problems. Not saying nothing can't come with something that's already okay, but like I said, it's a beautiful struggle. Nothing's perfect. Right. So when you know how to find the problem and deal with it, you can move on and work on it. You gotta work on it.
Yeah.
Gotta work on it. But I miss my father, you know what I'm saying? Big O from Kokomo.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But I'm glad we're talking about fathers. I'm rapping with my homie Skull one night. He talked to this one dude, I forgot his name, the old head. He said, "Yeah, I'm down here, man. I grew up down here." I said, "Hey, you know a cat named Alley-Oop?" Damn. He was a boxer, man. Cold. And I called you that night.
Yeah.
Gilmo, that's the man named Gilmo. He said, "Hell yeah, I know him."
Yeah.
Rode a damn bike, but he was a mean boxer. I called you around 12:30 at night.
Yeah.
Because I knew, and I can't make this up. It was important. I said, "Man, let me call my man right now."
Right.
And ask you, and I didn't know this stuff. He said, yeah. You know what I mean? So I know your father was a great man, but he said he was a cool brother, good dude.
Like, I mean, when I say he protected his family, I remember, man, I'm sitting on the porch in front of our house, and it was a little walkway, and my sisters was playing rope or something like that. And this dude came over, you know, trying to talk to him. Older cat. My sisters, they 13, 14 at the time. So my father rode up on his bike. He's like, "Hey, my man, they not interested, man. Go on about your way." come on, blood, I'm trying to, see what's to it. Man, I need you to walk away.
Yeah, you feel wanted.
Man, you cop block. Man, my father coming back, he gave him that Deontay Wilder, bro. Like that right hook. This man fell in the bushes. And he's I told you. You know what I mean? And he was out there for a minute.
Hey.
Yeah, but that's what you're supposed to do. But my pops had them hands, man. You know what I mean? His fingers look like Polish sausages. You know what I'm saying? It was like,
Scott Peterson.
When he passed though, I mean, like I just know my dad in the house. You know what I'm saying? And I know people see him in the neighborhood riding the bike. But when I posted it, I posted it on my Facebook page. I'm like, thank you, Dad. And I'm reading the comments like, that's your daddy? That's a low end legend. You know what I mean? So it was like, man, that made me, proud. You know what I'm saying? Like, wow, like my daddy, man, he always used to just talk to me and tell me this and tell me that, man. I appreciate him. You know what I mean? It's like, man, that's dope. Because that's what he did to me in the last 5 years. Like we didn't really talk much. Like I said, he was doing his protecting and providing. You know what I mean? So it was a lot of stuff that, like, he never came to a game or a performance or whatever like that. He had to work. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, my mama was there though, and that's how I felt. But I made sure that, when my kids became of age and were in programs or on teams or whatever, I was at everything.
Yeah,
cheering them on, man, because that just means. I know to me, if my father would have saw me play ball or play my drums or whatever the case may be, he would have been, proud. I just wanted to see that pride in his face. Yeah. But I know I felt that feeling. I saw that in his face when he saw me get my degree. You know what I mean? And he was like, man, you want it? I had like 8 tickets. You know what I'm saying? I was like, man, I got to give you a ticket for my graduation. He's like, you invite me? I'm like, yeah, my father, man. Like, if it weren't for you, I wouldn't be here, bro. If it wasn't for him, I wouldn't be here. I got to give him all the knowledge. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, I ain't know I was poor. Yeah. He made it happen, man.
And that's what men do.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
And I know you're saying that Papa was a Rolling Stone song. Again, when you find out about people after they pass, man, I didn't even realize I had, like, I got a brother named James. That's my first name. You know James. He's, hey, he's my cousin Meatball. Rest in peace. Told me, like, man, your papa love the women. You know what I'm saying? So he loved me. You know what I mean? And that's all that matters, man. That's all that matters. I know he did, bro.
Yeah, my father, he did get married when he was young. And my auntie, boy, she's something else. That's another story, though. She, told me, like, yeah, show me the pictures. I'm like, whoa, he's stacked shoes on, mutton chops, bro, clean. I'm like, oh, okay.
Oh, your pops had one of them, too. Yeah, I saw one with my daddy in this lounge with 2. These girls' legs look like 5. They were some brick houses, man. Big froze and all that. He had the shirt on and
collar overlapping.
The goatee. He had a Klondike, with that little point. He was something else, man.
Yeah, man.
He was something else.
And I just, like I said, I appreciate everything that was instilled in me. Yeah. You know what I mean? From my father, what I do know. And what was naturally given to me. You know what I'm saying? That's pretty much it. You know how I look at it. That's my stance on it when it comes to my father. Like,
and I know he wanted to do other things. Prime example, man. I was sitting in our dining area, and the window to the front was right there, and I saw him roll up on his bike. Like, oh, my daddy home. And he'll usually like chain his bike up to the pole. And I saw him get off the bike, chain his bike up. But then before he came in the house, he turned around and was doing something. So he come in the house, he was like, he gave me a baseball and he wrote Andre Dawson on it. Like, yeah, Andre Dawson told me to give you this. So I'm like, tell him I said thanks. The whole time I'm looking at you, and you misspelled Andre, but it was like. But that's
like everybody had grits.
Yeah, like a Gritsky.
Gritsky. Exactly. They're a raspberry.
Yeah. But I get it, man. Like, man, I would love to do something like this. He probably saw that in the movie or something like that. And just made him want to do something for me.
It's just the thought.
The thought, man. So I wish I still had that ball, man. I know. I think I went out and just started throwing it against an abandoned building. You know what I mean? Just to be,
doing something,
playing with it instead of just keeping it. But I knew it wasn't like no memorabilia. But at the same time, it was memorabilia because my pop gave it to me. Like I know Andre, his name don't end in a Y. You know what I'm saying? But it's all good.
Yeah. The day my father died, I remember I was staying on Lexington in California. Never forget that. And, come in the house, No, matter of fact, I take that back. We just moved from Lexington, California. We had moved to Long Grove. And I met my guy, Chris Steve, playing Sega or something. My mom told me to come upstairs, call down for me. I go up there, in Carlton. My mom really, my father passed. I just look like, huh? Like I couldn't even register. Like, huh? Like you know what I'm saying? I had mixed emotions. I was angry because he left without meeting. I didn't see him for about a couple of months. I didn't see him. I cried, of course. And that whole story shit, how he was in me. I went to the funeral, but I didn't go to the burial. I said, I don't want to go. I don't want to see him put. I don't want to see. I don't want to see that. You know what I'm saying? I remember I'm playing Sega. I'm playing Super Nintendo in the crib one day with my guys, Darius and one of the twins. I got a knock at the door, and it was one of the guys from Limits from the bus station. He brought me a card with money they collected. And I'm just reading all of it. Man, your father, he was a good kid. He taught me a lot, and this and this. I'm reading all the notes they putting in there. And I'm like 13 with a fat ass under the building wall. Like, whoa. But I'm reading the comments and I'm seeing what he meant to people.
Right.
So aside from that stoic side, that positive energy being joyous, life of the party, is all inside of me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I cherish that and I hold on to that because that made me who I am. Because for anybody who does know me personally, know this how I am. I ain't making it up. I can't make this up. This is who I am.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Tired son, fast talking, like to drink, have a good time, but be positive person. They know that's how I am. You know what I mean? I don't think I got a bad bone in my body. I don't think so. If I do, I don't know about it.
Yeah.
But when I get quiet and I'm thinking in story, like, that's not cool. I gotta talk.
Right.
Because that's one thing that we don't do as Black men. We don't discuss what's hindering us from moving forward or what's really bothering us.
Mm-hmm.
We grew up on that whole, don't be telling my business. Like, shit, you need to let it out.
Yeah. If we got dirty laundry, let's clean it.
But don't come out in the rest, go come out, you know what I'm saying?
No doubt. I just know, man. The day, my father passed, I remember it was a sunny day in February 13th, you know what I mean? And that was like right after we had this blizzard. And I went back to his place and just started cleaning up and all that, man. It was everything just kind of happened fast.
Be like that, bro.
You know what I mean? And but just to hear, the kind words that people have to say about him, man, that touched me, and it really let me into, like you said, his human side. And man, he was a good dude, man, a good dude. And we just not the only ones having this conversation. I mean, there's a lot of dudes that, feel a certain, I wouldn't even say feel a certain way about their pops, but their pops affected them in a certain way, whether it be negative or positive.
Yeah.
Mama is mama. But man, fathers, and they weren't perfect, and sometimes, with a mother, women have instincts. You know what I mean? Like, now, it's some mamas out there, man, we got to get it together. But at the same time, just like it's some fathers,
for sure.
But if you baby crying, oh, let me, you know what I mean? Like, men, we don't have those instincts and tech. We don't have a blueprint either.
No,
there's no man manual. You know what I mean?
But you know, how the baby crying mother, ooh, be a mother.
Yeah.
We walking. Hold on, that car riding by too slow. You know what I'm saying? We got
those instincts.
Survival,
protect the survival, protection.
You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
But you're right though. A lot of brothers don't know their fathers, and we have been blessed to be able to be around our fathers and learn from our fathers.
I couldn't imagine that feeling, and I can only think if that was me, you know, it'll feel like, depending on, you know, certain circumstances. I mean, some people didn't know their fathers, you know, whether it be, you know, military, something happened at war, whatever the case may be. But I would guess that feeling would be empty. It would be an empty feeling for me if I didn't know who both my parents were, or didn't have a relationship with one of my parents. You know what I'm saying? Whether it be good or bad. So that's definitely a void that a lot of us are feeling, man. And just know, again, this ain't just our podcast. This ain't us talking. This is dialogue for all of us. This is our forum. This is our safe space. And don't hold it in. Talk about it. Talk about it with your mans. Build. You know what I mean? And how can we put ourselves in a position to be better fathers and better men, you know, but also pay homage to the ones, whether you knew them or not, because hey, certain things happen, man. You know, but I'm pretty sure that if you don't know him, he's thinking about you. You know, he loves you, but he probably don't know how to communicate with you, how to see you. You know, some men just don't know because they haven't been taught.
Exactly, and that's one thing that I'm glad. First and foremost, we set the tone for pertaining to us about why we doing this. Communication, dialogue, open up the streams, open up so we can let it flow out. I'm not saying you got to tell me everything or so and so, but you got to tell somebody something.
So this is what we're gonna do in conclusion. We're gonna hold each other accountable. So me, with my temper, you know what I'm saying, and health and things of that nature, you know what I'm saying, and I'm gonna do the same for you. I know you're the stoic one, you know what I mean, but I'm gonna challenge you to communicate. You know, think about what you want to say it. You know what I'm saying, in a logical way, and the health side. You know what I'm saying, so we can build on our father's legacies and and hope and pray to God that our sons do the same for us.
And I think we're doing a damn good job right now. So far, so good. Right. I gotta say that. Right. You know what I mean? I have to say that because from what our fathers didn't give, we didn't see, we always wanted to, okay, you know what? I'm gonna go above and beyond and make sure. You know what I'm saying? Well, I think for me, I could say that like my father didn't marry. You know, so I'm not saying everybody has to be married, but he didn't do that. Right. I want to make sure if I ever did lay with a woman to have a kid, the kid would be under the household with two parents. Right. You know, I think it's very important. If it don't happen that way, they got to stay together though somehow as a unit, make sure that child is provided with what they need, like you said earlier. Yeah. You know, but we definitely will hold each other accountable though. As black men, being responsible and showing the right way. You know.
All right, let's start then. I love you, bro.
Love you too, brother.
Peace.
Peace.